I think that when we look for consulting gigs or jobs, too often as agilists, we're focused on what we're going to get rather than what we're going to give. Let's talk about it. That's this week on the Badass Agile podcast. Greetings, team. Welcome to the Badass Agile podcast. I'm your host, Chris Williams. All right, welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's wonderful to see you. I'm privileged to have you folks as members, as friends, as listeners, as followers. And as always, I thank you for your ongoing support. This week, I want to talk about what happens when we as agilists, we seek out jobs with big organizations and we pretend or we imagine that we're going to innovate and advance the craft. But when you go to those big organizations, we end up asking questions like, what's the salary? What's the comp? What's the vacation? What are the opportunities? And then once we get hired, we ask questions like, what do you want me to do? What are the expectations? I think those are the wrong questions. And that's where I want to explore today. But first, let's take a moment to remember why we're here. To create an elite tribe of leaders who truly serve their clients and communities by doing what matters and what works, relentlessly chasing value and excellence like a badass. There's so many resources out there about what we need to do to be agile, but we focus on who we need to become in order to lead teams. So let's hammer down those fundamentals to create a truly unique and powerful force in this industry. As always, if this helps you guys, please tell your friends. You can seek us out on Facebook in the Badass Agile Listener Lounge. You can also find us on the LinkedIn page for Badass Agile. And hey, come on back into our YouTube channel. We're exploring new and exciting topics on live stream every week with Lawrence Bonema. And of course, why not check out the podcast on the app with the social angle, which is Shuffle. Okay, if you would like to go into these big organizations where agile at scale can be extremely difficult, if you want to blow the roof off, I think you need to ask different questions. It's all too common to focus on what we're going to get, and it's all too common to focus on what we're permitted to do. I think as agilists, we need to be leaders. We need to be innovators. We need to be bold and adventurous and courageous. So I think a much better question is, what can I innovate, build, or change? That's how you're going to create real value for your clients and companies, no matter how small or large they may be. Now, here's the disadvantage. We don't like this kind of thinking, and here's why. Think about this for a minute. We're so scared that we're not going to get the job. We're so scared that we're going to get it and then lose it, or we're so scared that we won't or can't be successful with this attitude that we won't even try. So I'll say this again because I say it often. It's possible that certain people won't get you. That has to be okay. What you really want to focus on are the places and the people that do. Doesn't that make sense? Why chase people that you have to convince and force or beg to like you, to accept you, and to want the value that you offer? So be prepared here. The courage to ask harder questions, better questions, also requires the courage to be rejected, the courage to not fit at every place that you go. When I was younger, I used to think that the mark of my excellence was that I never flubbed an interview. I got an offer for every single job that I applied for and interviewed for. Well, once that record is broken, you have to start thinking differently. Because if all you're focused on is getting the job, then you're going to be obsessed with, what do I have to say? What do I have to do? Who do I have to be to please a prospective customer or company? And that is bad news every time. So this fundamental shift requires that we stop thinking about you. Take the focus off of you and put it on your prospective customer or client. Stop worrying about what you're going to get and instead focus on what you will build. What culture, what feeling, what specialness are you going to help your client build? See, because when all you do is ask about the benefits that will accrue to you, like the salary, the benefits, the perks, the vacations, the titles, the opportunities, I think your chances of getting the job actually go down because it's going to be obvious that you're self-interested, reward-based, and somewhat insensitive to the needs of your prospective client or employer. I think the very best organizations, the one that you probably want to work for, is going to be wise to that. And they're going to have people in place somewhere in the interview process that's attuned to the vibe that you give off. Are you me-centric or are you them-centric? I know that's what I look for, because a person who is less focused on themselves and more focused on the other is going to be a better teammate. They're going to be a better solution provider. They're going to be a better employee in terms of their contribution. And that's not an excuse for employers to be selfish or self-oriented either. What we're really looking for here is the fit. See, the worst thing that you can do is just choose a job just because they're offering you one, just because it happens to be available and they're willing to extend it to you. A great place to start is if you're excited about the thing that you can build for them, not the company that you're working for, not the brand that you'll be associated with, not the individual person who interviewed you, but the opportunity to make a fit, to have something that you love building be valuable to the people who are paying you to build it. As an employer or as a company, they should be excited about the prospect of working with you because of what you can bring, not only in terms of the value of your solution, but the value of your personality, your fit with the culture. And you should be excited about working with the company for the same reason. I understand there are times where you have to take a job because you have to take a job, but for the most part, we want to be seeking jobs where the fit is great, where there's a feeling that we get, where there's a matchup between the things that we want to offer, the unique value we want to bring to the world, and the need in the marketplace. I've said this a million times. If you love what you do, if you're offering the value that only you can offer in a way that you love to offer it, it's not going to feel like work. That passion is going to drive you to create better solutions, to put your best energy towards working with your team, solving problems, and delighting your customer. See, I think if you do this, even the most challenging big box, big bank agile jobs can be fun and offer plenty of challenge, self-development, and fulfillment. And really, that's what it's all about. One thing that might help you is to start to forward load your job search a little bit, meaning you should always be on the lookout for great opportunities on the rise. Even if you're happily employed somewhere, or if you're in the middle of a year-long contract, somewhere around the 6-month mark, you should start knocking on doors and building relationships with the people who could be your future or prospective companies or clients in the future. Get engaged with the HR department. Get engaged with people who are already working there on teams. Get engaged with the product people. Follow them on social media, comment, talk, join the conversation. This is really the best way to design your own career. The old way is to be reactive. Need a job, look for a job. Posting comes up, reply to the posting. You're waiting for things to happen before you move. What I want to see out of you badass agilists is to be the champion, to be the captain of your own career and your own development. You got to own it. And once you start owning it, I think you'll realize that people are less interested in what you want, the salary you're looking for, the benefits that you insist on, the preferences that you have, and they want to see more of a partnership, a relationship in which there's benefit on both sides. Yes, have your standards. Yeah, have your number. Yeah, have your list of demands if you want them. But those shouldn't be the questions that you're asking in the interview. Take an interest in what they're working on. Try to anticipate what problems this company might be trying to solve at this current moment in their history, based on the market trends that you see, based on the shifts in culture or commerce. Whatever you got an eye for, make a call and get in there and sell it. I think that's super powerful. And once again, how do you practice that? Maybe the easiest way is to just get in contact with a lot of people and not looking to actually get hired at the moment, simply offer your services. What could I build for you in a couple of hours or in 30 minutes that might be of value to you? Could I make you a PowerPoint, one slide with 4 of my best tips as a coach that I think will help your organization going forward? What are the 3 practices your team should let go of because it's old school Agile and it's not serving us anymore? What are 3 things I think you could use Agile for in your organization that I'm willing to bet you're not using it for today? Get out there and grant them some information. Bring them some value. Make it something low lift so it's not something you spend an entire week on if you don't need to. Bring your native expertise, the things you're already talking about in the marketplace, but the prospective employers and clients can't hear you because you're not talking in the right direction. Now trust me, HR departments know that this is the future of hiring, that they're building relationships in an agile way long before there's an ask or a need or a job posting. So I think this is really in line with what the market is experiencing. I think it's the way forward and a really great way for you as a practitioner to stand out and snag the gigs that light you up, that let you shine, that bring you more success and build a stellar career. My friends, I hope this helped you. Reach out and let me know how this works for you. You can find me on Twitter at badass_agile, on Instagram at badassagile, and of course on the web at worldwideweb.badassagile.com. I look forward to seeing you next time, and until then, stay badass.